So welcome everyone. Thanks for coming out tonight. This is the, woohoo! Oh, we got a friendly crowd. I think between HC and I, we know everybody here. So that's good. So yeah, this is the album release party for the singer and the songwriter. HC and I are excited to have everyone here. Hopefully everybody got food and drinks. There's plenty to go around, so help yourself. But we're excited. We're turning the Boatyard, this venue, into a listening room, kind of like the Bluebird Cafe. I don't know if you've ever been to a singer or songwriter event before, but there's a good bit of storytelling along with the music. So we'll mix that up tonight, and hope everyone has a good time. So this album has been probably 30 years in the making. There's a lot of credits to hand out, and a lot of those credits are here in this room tonight. So the first person I got to give a lot of credit to is not here. He's in Italy, but he'll be back tomorrow, and he's the guitarist for HC's band along with HC and Mike here. But Paul's the reason I'm still playing guitar today. I got a guitar, Dr. Paul, that's right. So I asked for a guitar when I was 13 years old, and guitar lessons, and my parents gave that to me. And 2 months into guitar lessons, the teacher came to my father and said, "He's not practicing, he's not very good, and you shouldn't keep this up." So my dad stopped paying, and I stopped playing guitar. But I would pick it up from time to time, and played a little bit in college, but really didn't start playing again until I was 35, when I moved into Davidson. The first day we were in Davidson, a 7-year-old son brought home a friend, and that son's father found him at our house as we were unpacking stuff, and he saw my guitar over in the corner with a lot of unpacked boxes. And within a few weeks, he and I were playing guitar. And he became my guitar teacher. He and I became fast friends, as did our sons still. And 30 years later, Paul Marshburn and I are still playing guitar, and he's still teaching me stuff. HC has made him accelerate his learning curve immensely in the last 10 years, so I can't even keep up. But he's been a fun teacher, so he's not here tonight. So I did not grow up in a musical family. So Paul Marshburn was the first addition to my musical family. There was no talent in my house, but Paul became my musical brother. And so I'm very appreciative to him. If it wasn't for him giving me assignments and telling me we're going to play them again in 3 weeks and go home and practice, I would have just set the guitar down and not played it anymore. The next person I added to my musical family, my next musical brother, did grow up playing. He played, for his family. He played in church. He played at county fairs. He played at parties. He played for everybody in upstate South Carolina. That gentleman wound up having a band that was outstanding, and they were in a battle of the band in the Greenville-Spartanburg area, and came in second place to a band called Marshall Tucker.
Oh well.
But that musician was a great musician. He just didn't get the great breaks that Marshall Tucker did. And that gentleman is sitting over here with my good friend right here. This is Ben Duncan. And his lovely wife, Jenny. So we've got some folks who've got WSGE heritage and DNA here tonight. Thank y'all for coming. And 30 years ago, you would hear some of Ben Duncan's stuff on y'all's radio station. So thank y'all for playing that back then, and thanks for playing HC's and my stuff today. So yeah, a little bit more on Ben. He could play anything, jazz, blues, rock and roll, you name it. But his favorite stuff was singer-songwriter stuff. He loved Steve Earle, John Prine. Guy Clark was one of his favorites. Townes Van Zandt, Robert Earl Keen. We've been to a few of his concerts before. And so Ben and I would sit around and play guitar for 3 or 4 hours, and occasionally he would throw in some song that I'd never heard, and I said, wow, that's really cool. I love that song. Who wrote that one? And he'd say, I did. And then he'd be quickly followed up by, it's not a real song, I just made it up. But that happened over and over. But Ben was the person who taught me that you could write music yourself, because he wrote a bunch of it. He's got some amazing work out there. So Ben, you inspired me. Without you inspiring me to write music, this album would have never been here. So thanks for coming out tonight. It means a lot. So I've got several other brothers that I adopted into this musical family. People like Mike Robertson here. Todd Peverall from Raleigh showed up, another good musician. John Turner and his wife Astrid came from Wrightsville Beach. David Saab came all the way from Kansas City. Is David in the house? There he is.
Kansas City, wow.
Yep. So these are folks that are in that circle of trust. You can share ideas with them, rough drafts of songs, and they give you feedback. They say, that's okay, yeah, keep working on it, or that's really good, stick with it. But they'll listen to anything you send them. So those are, folks that are part of my musical family. Thank y'all for being here tonight. All right, a couple more credits here. There's a little town in Podunk, Alabama called Muscle Shoals, where people go to record, and people like the Rolling Stones, Leonard Skinner, Etta James, Aretha Franklin, Greg Allman. They go to find a bit of magic, a spark, something very unique down there, because they had these legendary session musicians. Easy for y'all to say, but our session musician for this album is the gentleman to the right over here, Cade Ratcliff. Woo! Cade was our session musician on every song. He did every instrument except for maybe a little banjo and pedal steel guitar on a couple other songs. But he's been amazing, right? He created that magic. So a lot of times after you listen to the song and you may not remember any of the lyrics, but what sticks in your head is this riff that he wrote, or this badass guitar lick. That's what resonates. It's that theme, it's that kind of juice that goes with the song. So it's been amazing working with Cade, so thank you for doing all that.
I might add that Cade, not only did he play all the instruments, but he mixed it, he arranged it, he produced it, he mastered it. What else did you do, Cade? I mean, all that stuff.
Everything you guys couldn't do.
That made it pretty wide open.
So I had a few other fans that kept encouraging me along the way. My brother, Chris Davis, my sister, Kim Winslow, Daryl Chapman, who actually introduced HC and I, Nancy Marshburn, people who would say, hey, play that song you used to play, or what have you written recently? So it really inspired me to keep, writing more stuff. But my biggest fan is the lady I sleep with. Where's Lynn Davis? Oh, there she is. You'll see a few times in this album there's references to redheads. She's this blonde back there, but she was a redhead when I met her. Strawberry blonde. And we'll talk about some of those songs tonight. But she had the luxury and the burden of hearing live music every night. Songs when they were born, when they were toddlers, when they were grown up, and she got to hear them more than she probably liked. But she would give me constructive feedback, a thumbs up or a thumbs down. And if she said, "Oh, I've heard that 100 times," I would throw it away, right? I wanted to do stuff that was original. And so I needed to hear that. And she's got a good ear. She's actually a great singer. We used to do open mics back in the day, and she's sung on Lower Broadway in Nashville. So she's got a great voice. But if she said, "Oh, I don't recognize it. What is that? I kind of like it," I would stick with it. So I needed to hear about the good and the bad. Very, very good constructive critic. The other musical contribution she gave me was, Webster's dictionary says, a person who is the source of inspiration for a creative artist is your muse. She's been my muse for a lot of my songs that I've written. So that's been great. Without a muse, you wind up writing about a pickup truck. I write country stuff. You wind up writing about a pickup truck and a girl and a six-pack of beer on a back road, and it sounds like all that overproduced country radio crap that's out there. And I didn't want any of that. And so, thanks for being my muse. All right, we're almost done with the credits before we start playing a little music. There's one other person that is kind of important to this whole album, and that's Mr. H.C. Oakes. Right? He's a renowned performing artist. He's for 10 years, he's had the H.C. Oakes Band, a great cover band. The last couple years, they've got this Tom Petty tribute band, Petty Rewind, that they're playing to thousands of people. It's amazing, the journey. I've been watching him for 10 years. It's quite incredible. But when HC was not performing, we may sit around up at one of our mountain places and sit out on the back deck, and we'll pick some stuff, and he'll say, "All right, Brad, what have you been writing? I know you've got some new stuff. What do you got?" And I said, "Well, yeah, of course." And we would play some things. And one night he said, "Brad, people need to hear these songs. You got a lot of them." And I said, "Well, people don't need to hear me sing these songs, because I am not the singer, and everybody knows that. And that's why I don't like singing, right? I just like writing. It's therapy."
He's a lot better songwriter. Singer than he's giving himself credit for, but anyway.
You were right the first time, Mom. So that's how it came about. He does all this, he's always playing out, but my favorite thing to do is to sit not only on a back deck, but in a small bar or an open mic and hear HC with just he and his guitar. He's got an amazing voice. Yep. Yep.
Thank you.
He is the best singer I've ever known personally. So for him to say, "I want to do your songs and sing them," it's been just an amazing production here. So thank you for that, HC.
Thank you. Wow.
All right, without further ado, we're going to get into the first song on the album. There's lyrics out here for folks. First song is Redheaded Danger. That's the first of 3 songs that have references to redheads. And And the inspiration for that song was my redheaded wife, who I met on a construction site. Blue jeans, cowgirl boots, and a hard hat. Not everything in the song is, autobiographical or completely true. So there's many disclaimers here, but still the inspiration came from her. And as Ben Duncan has already taught me, don't believe everything songwriters say. They just make shit up. All right, with that, AC, take it away.
All right, thanks, Brad. Give it up for Brad Davis, a Dodger Davis. 1, 2, 3. She worked construction, it was pure seduction from the day that we first met. The red-headed temper made the boys whimper like a fool. I took that bet. Levi's gap would always distract the crew as they walked through. You could hear the foreman yelling, the show is over, fellas, we got work to do. Well, I knew I had to have her as I watched her shifting gears with a beer between her legs. She was chewing on some Nicorette, singing with a tape cassette, just living on the edge. A heavy foot on the throttle and a long neck bottle moved in where I should be. If she was robbing the cradle, God willing and able, it was good enough for me. Well, she's a red-headed danger, don't try to restrain her. Mama might be right, we shall see. You don't think you can change her? She was born next to a manger, and that's close enough to Jesus Christ for me. When the sheriff pulled us over, she was holding her composure and a newborn nursing baby. She flashed that smile, big blue eyes, and open blouse down to her navel. When he shook his head, said, "You're free to go," but never in all my time. I need a long vacation, cause the boys at the station say I've lost my mind. She's a red-headed danger, don't try to restrain her. Mama might be right, we shall see. Don't think you can change her. She was born next to a manger, and that's close enough to Jesus Christ for me. She's a breadwinner, and I make a dinner, red-headed babies at my feet. She runs her own construction with the money mom belonged her. Damn, this turned out sweet. She's a red-headed danger, don't try to restrain her. Mama might be right, we shall see. You don't think you can change her? She was born next to a manger, and that's close enough to Jesus Christ for me. Oh! All right. Red-headed danger. Thank you. But if you could give Brad just a little bit more guitar in his monitor, that'd be great.
All right, a little bit on this next one. So for the record, I become pretty worthless once I pick up a guitar and a glass of whiskey. I looked up my phone one morning to see what I'd been doing the night before, and my recorder app was the last app I used on my phone. And I played it back, and it started with Lynn saying, "Brad, make sure you're recording that one before you forget it. That one's okay. Keep working on it." So there were no words, there were no lyrics. It was just these riffs and picks that you're gonna hear. So the timestamp on that recording was 9:45 p.m. on a Monday night, a work night. I had stuff to do the next morning, but here I was just worthless, out playing, doing exactly what I wanted to do, having a good time. So the next morning, driving into work, that's what occurred to me this song was about, was that worthless, no good guitar picker. And that's how it came about. So let's get into it.
All right. He's got a scar on his face from wife number 2. What a mess the wine bottle can do. Overworked, they call him tall, dark, and dim. If you're looking for a sugar daddy, well, that ain't him. He's got nothing to lose. He keeps a pistol in his boot, but put a guitar in his hands. They say he's damn sure cute. Ain't the kind you take home to mom and pa. Sure don't tell your friends he might be running from the law. And if your clock is ticking, he ain't your top recruit. Put a guitar in his hands, they say he's damn sure cute. He's got booze on his lips and weed in his eyes. If you think he's up to something, no, it's just a disguise. You can find him Friday night at a place called the Pound, running with the dogs, throwing them down. He ain't a rescue, he's just a mud in a suit. But put a guitar in his hands, they say he's damn sure cute. Ain't the kind you take home to mom and pa. Sure don't tell your friends he might be running from the law. And if your clock is ticking, he ain't your top recruit. Put a guitar in his hands, they say he's damn sure cute. Let's go, boy! That's right. One more time. Ain't the kind you take home to mom and pa. Sure don't tell your friends he might be running from the law. And if your clock is ticking, he ain't your top recruit. Put a guitar in his hands, they say he's damn sure cute. Put a guitar in his hands, say he's damn sure cute. Put a guitar in his hands, they say he's damn sure cute. So I personally think that that's going to be Brad's first #1 country hit right there. Got that groove.
That's fun. Well done, AC. Love those licks, Cade. All right. The next song, and I think our friends at WSG have played this one some. AC, One Friend? Great, thank y'all for doing that. It's fun to hear it out there. But my favorite movie of all times is the Western movie called Tombstone. It showcases this great friendship between Wyatt Earp and Doc Holliday. Doc Holliday is dying of tuberculosis, but was always ready to go to war for Wyatt Earp. After one of the gunfights, Doc Holliday is coughing up blood, and one of the other gunfighter's on his side. His name is Creek Johnson. Says, "Doc, you should be in bed. What the hell are you doing this for anyway?" Doc says, "'Cause Wyatt Earp is my friend." Creek Johnson says, "Hell, I got lots of friends." And Doc says, "I don't." It's just a great, I'm your Huckleberry. Yep. So of course, Doc Holliday later in the film ends up dying with only one friend. That's Wyatt Earp. And sometimes that's all you need. So, I'm fortunate I've got lots of good friends, but if I only wound up with one, that may be all I need. But one day, the actions of one of my very good friends inspired me to write this song. This friend stood up for me in a public forum when he had more to lose than he had to gain, and he had my back. I didn't have to say a single word. I just sat there in awe and watched him fight my battle for me. So if I only had one friend left on this earth, I would be fine with a friend like this, one friend. So this song goes out to Phil Grigsby, the inspiration for this song.
Yeah, Phil.
Hesitate to call if you need anything at all. But my call's going answered, heaven knows why they forsake. You come out of nowhere just before I break. They all know me, but they don't like to admit it. They all know me, but they try hard to forget it. You will yell my name out across the crowded floor and have my back till we walk out that door. I show up unannounced, you welcome me right in. That don't happen anywhere, but here I have one friend. Maybe it's the coffee, conversation, weed, or wine. It don't seem to matter, you always find the time. They all know me, but they don't like to admit it. They all know me, but they try hard to forget it. You will yell my name out across the crowded floor and have my back till we walk out that door. Just today, it's been a long, long while since we shared a whiskey, a story or a smile. There will come a day, my friend, when I'm at peace inside, when my last breath's a number, you beside my side. They all know me, but they don't like to admit it. They all know me, but they try hard to forget it. You will yell my name out across the crowded floor and my back till we walk out that door. You will yell my name out across the crowded floor and have my back till we walk out that door.
Actually, that's until you walk through God's door. Thank you, Brad. I blew my first lyric there, brother. It won't be the last. So I don't know if y'all, I guess you know, but you have the lyrics out there to these songs. And like Brad mentioned, we're doing it in the order of the album. So if you hadn't had a chance to listen to the album, give it a listen.
Great. All right. Yeah, there'll be some other screw ups, and hopefully you don't hear mine. So, she said, Brad, let's do an album. And so I pulled out a bunch of old songs, dusted them off. I gave them to HC and Cade and let them pick what they wanted to put on this album. Right?
Pretty much, yeah. That's the way it worked.
Okay.
Yeah. We had a lot to choose from, though. Good ones, so it wasn't hard.
So most of what I write is this sad, dark, depressing stuff, right? Most of those songs did not make this album. They picked these upbeat ones, and I'm glad they did. But this sad, dark song did make the album. At one of Townes Van Zant's shows back in the day, he was, playing his dark stuff. If you know Townes Van Zant, and I know Ben does, he's a big fan. And after a number of the songs, and one particularly, somebody in the audience said, "Hey Townes, don't you have any happy songs?" And Van Zant said, "That was one of them." So this is, this is not autobiographical, but it is, crying in your beer, tear-jerker song that made this album. So get the Kleenexes out. Get ready. HC?
Song's called In Stone. Happens to be one of my favorites, I think.
There's a stack of cards and letters. It's not been opened yet. There's a freezer full of food the nice church ladies left, and a pile of empty bottles. I used to count the days since you've been gone. There's a closet of your things that's not been touched at all. There's a picture on your mirror of us hiking in the fall, and a calendar of dates I marked to tell myself to move it along. I marked the date when we first kissed, the anniversaries that I missed, and the first night I didn't take you home. This calendar had me believing one day I might stop grieving, and all those circle dates have come and gone. There's 2 more empty bottles I piled on for the 2 dates that are chiseled out in stone. I wrote a thank you note for every card and letter to the ladies at the church. Their kind words made me better. But there's more empty bottles, and a few more circle dates have come and gone. I marked the date when we first kissed, the anniversaries that I missed, and the first night I didn't take you home. This calendar had me believing one day I might stop grieving, and all those circle dates have come and gone. And there's 2 more empty bottles I piled on for the 2 dates that are chiseled out in stone. didn't take you home. This calendar had me believing one day I might stop grieving, but all the circle dates have come and gone. And there's 2 more empty bottles I piled on for the 2 dates that are chiseled out in stone. Let me tell you, folks, if that song doesn't move you, you don't have a pulse. You don't have a pulse. Oh my God, it's good. Whew. Thank you, Brad, for writing that one. Thank you.
Everybody good on drinks? The bartender's lonely over there. All right, this next song is called Father Time. It was written a few years ago after a little health scare, but there's a number of well-known songs about getting older and battling father time, and you know, there's a little gray up here, particularly with me. So you know, one of the battling father time songs I like is Toby Keith's song that he got from a conversation he had with Clint Eastwood about "Don't let the old man in." Yeah, the lyrics go, "I knew all of my life that someday it would end. Get up and go outside. Don't let the old man in." And then the other country one was Tim McGraw's song about "Live Like You Were Dying." I've got 4 granddaughters that I'm battling against father time on, right? They're, of course, the most amazing granddaughters around. But the other night, and this is just an example of them, but I want to live as long as I can and as strong as I can for these little girls. But the other night, our son called and said, "Yeah, I've been playing this Scrabble Squirtle game with Elsie, the 7-year-old. And she came across a word that I figured out, and it was retro, R-E-T-R-O. And she said, "Dad, what is retro?" And our son Kyle said, "Well, that's something that's old, but that's kind of cool." And she said, "Oh, like Nana and Pawpaw," right? So that's why we battle father time. We're doing it for the grandkids. So here's father time. Yeah, capo.
All right, here we go.
Who's that there standing in front of me with lines on his face and gray's all I'll see? Maybe I knew him when I was a kid. Reminds me of Granddad when we buried him. I think I'm still fast, I know I'm still strong. Don't care if some doctor thinks I don't have long, 'cause I've got some grandkids now of my own. I need him to know that I'm made of stone. I don't care what the mirror is trying to tell me. I don't care that the doctor has lots of degrees, 'cause I've got some more big mountains to climb and rivers to cross before it's my time. he's undefeated, I've heard him say. But I won't back down, hell, no, not today. If Father Time's game, then I have no clue. I'm no longer looking at my rear view. I don't care what the mirror is trying to tell me. I don't care if the doctor has lots of degrees, 'cause I've got some more big mountains to climb, rivers to cross before it's my time. 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'll pick this guitar till my fingers bleed, sing like no one is listening, and sing like no one is listening. Thank you. So I would like to point out something. How many of you have sang somewhere and you didn't care if no one was listening, so you just let it belt out? Right, think about that line, and sing like no one is listening. Woo! Good stuff, Brad. Thank you all for coming, by the way. We appreciate this. I know Brad means the world to us. Let's give a shout out to Chris, if he's still here, Bakitas, who owns this place and brings a lot of great music to our local community, and he was good enough to let us in here tonight.
AC, thanks for filling in the gap while I got down for my water. It takes longer to get bend over and back up than it used to. All right. Fire on the Mountain, another reference to a redhead, another fiery redhead. I've got, I'm married a redhead.
That was me, Brad.
I have a redheaded daughter. I have a redheaded granddaughter. So they're all over the place. But this song, I had these notes for a while. These notes to this song were orphans for quite a while. There were no lyrics. I had no idea what the song was going to be about. But I would go back and play them from time to time. And I really liked them. And it's in a minor. So, anyway, they were orphans for a long time. And then there was an event involving my daughter, Corey, who couldn't be with us here tonight. She lives up in Southwest Virginia mountains, in the Appalachian Mountains. Very strong-willed, 34-year-old single woman. But this event was not just any event, but one that is now folklore among the deputy sheriffs of Patrick County, Virginia. Corey found two pillbillies, meth heads, 40-year-old men with ski masks and a getaway truck that was stolen, breaking into her car at daybreak. Turned out it was probably the last car break-in of the night. They had rampaged half of Patrick County that night. And she walks out, yells at him, says, "WTF, what are you doing?" And the one with the ski mask gets in the truck and they get off, but she chases them off the mountaintop and halfway through, and videotapes this, which she later gave to the sheriff, license plate and everything. And the sheriffs are saying, "Woman, what are you doing? These people have records. You don't need to be doing this." But that's where the inspiration for this song came from Corey Davis, our daughter. So when I played the intro notes to this song, Cade really embraced it. And he took to it, and he made it into this kind of spooky werewolf vampire vibe.
Was that what you were going for, Cade?
Yeah.
Well, it turned
I'm
out
really
just
happy you
perfect.
picked up on that.
How about Chris Isaac? Let's go with that. Got a Chris Isaac feel.
It fits my daughter perfect. She's a big vampire person anyway. So he made this song his own. And when we got further into the recording process, HC was going to sing it, and Cade said, no, I own this one. I'm going to sing this song. So he made it his own, literally, and it turned into an amazing song. And it's one of those that you may not remember all the lyrics, but you'll remember the vibe. And it's one of the most streamed songs on this album so far. So Cade, take it away.
Something better, can't explain. Got a mom's good looks, daddy's brain. Found the man like you never seen. A heart of gold pumping through those veins. She'll hunt you down, back you up, take the keys to your pickup truck. She'll bring you back sunshine and joy, like the kind that you can't find no more. Never ever, have you ever seen the likes of you? Touch a crazy and an honest touch from grandma through and through. Never ever could they know the pain that you've been through. Never ever could I ever make it without you. She'll hunt you down, back you up, take the keys to your pickup truck. She'll bring you back sunshine and joy, like the kind that you can't find no more. Shadow won't grace your steeples, far away from all those people. Just a few have seen her well. She's one of Mother Nature's girls. Never ever have they ever seen the likes of you. Never ever could they know the pain that you've been through. I wanna cry, I don't know why. Guess it's just my curse. 'Cause every time she hears those songs, the darkness just gets worse. She'll hunt you down, back you up, take the keys to your pickup truck. She'll bring you back sunshine and joy, like the kind that you can't find no more.
2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4.
Can't find no more.
Cade Ratcliff.
Give it up. There's nothing that Cade can't do in music. Listen to that voice. Woo. Good job, Cade.
All right, when does the guitar player get to have a drink? HC's he said no drinking. We're professionals. We do this right. So I'm looking forward to a drink here soon. All right.
I've just noticed that when we drink, we think we sound better than we probably do. But you all can drink because it'll make us sound much better, so go for it.
All right. This next song is God's Angels. And God's Angel can be interpreted in a couple of different ways. First time I played it for HC and Cade, they had one interpretation, but they interpreted the Father with a uncapitalized F. When I wrote it and envisioned it, the Father was capitalized F. So, if you could record your conversations with God, would it be mostly you talking to him? Or would it be mostly him talking? And if it's him talking, is it in Jesus' voice? Like just full of love and grace and forgiveness? Or is it in God's voice? Don't make me come down there.
The Old Testament.
The Old Testament voice, right? So my recordings would be in God's voice. And this song is in God's voice. So, this is it, God's Angel. AC, take it away.
Your last time in my house was so long ago. You vowed to stand by her through highs and through lows. You told me and your friends and your family nothing else matters. She's all that you'll need. Well, things did not work out the way that you planned. You put yourself first. You think you're a man. You're looking for answers upon bended knee. Now swallow your pride and listen to me. Well, she ain't just a girl. Her smile brightens up my world. They say you're one lucky man. How come you don't understand? You hurt the wrong girl this time. Heaven knows this angel is mine. Cross the line. St. Peter knows you won't cross mine. If you hurt this angel one more time, if you hurt this angel one more, if you hurt this angel one more, if you hurt this angel one more time. Thank you.
Thank you. I think that would be original music. I'm not sure I've heard a song like that before.
Great song, man. So we got a couple more, so y'all hang in there with us.
All right, I'll Remember is the next one. So we've talked about redheads, right? I read one time that redheads will eventually be extinct, but I've got a wife, a daughter, a granddaughter, and my redheaded granddaughter has brown eyes. My wife has red and blue eyes, but the granddaughter has dimples and red hair, but not the blue eyes. My daughter has the red head and the blue eyes, but not the dimples. So I started just kind of researching this stuff. And
Dimples and redheads.
yeah, it was kind of fascinating to me. So, redheads are only 2% of the population. Blue eyes are 20% of the population. The combination of redheads and blue eyes is the rarest hair-eye combination. That's 2 out of 10,000. If you add dimples to that, dimples are only 20% of the population, but if you add that to the 2 in 10,000, it's basically 1 in a million. It's basically a unicorn. So that's what I remember the first time I saw my wife. The redhead, blue eyes, and dimples. It was a unicorn. So that's the genesis of this song. So I envision myself fully dementia in the memory care unit of some nursing home. Just can't remember a thing. Don't know what day it is, don't know what year it is, can't tell you who the president is. My kids come to visit me. Michael, my nephew here, comes to visit me. I don't recognize you, Michael, but I will remember the first time I laid eyes on that unicorn.
Yeah.
I will never forget it. I will be sitting over there smiling in the corner, and the doctors and the nurses and the caregivers are just scratching their heads. Why is he smiling? He has nothing. He knows nothing. I got that one memory, and that's this song.
Awesome.
These years are running out on me. My hourglass is emptying. Can't do the things I used to do. For now my mind is working fine. Still know my whiskey from my wine. Still like to snuggle up with you. Someday my mind might run on empty. I might forget all that I knew. But there's one memory I'll hold with me, and all I'll think about is you. I remember the first time I laid eyes on you. 1 in a million, angel eyes of blue. Redheads like you, if you and far between. And a dimple smile like yours I've never seen. 1, 2, 3, 4. I may slow down and fall behind. Hear whispers that I've lost my mind. I know there might come a day when I don't recognize my kids. Can't tell you who the POTUS is. Can't find the words I want to say. Someday my mind might run on empty. I might forget all that I knew. But there's one memory I'll hold with me, and all I'll think about is you. I remember first time I laid eyes on you. 1 in a million, angel eyes of blue.
1, 2, 3, 4. Come on, y'all, clap your hands. I remember. All right, so I'm going to just take a couple minutes here. First of all, on behalf of Mike Robertson over here on bass, Cade Ratcliff over here on guitar, vocals, and myself and Brad, we certainly appreciate y'all coming out on a Sunday evening and spending some time with us. It means the world to me, it means the world to Brad. And I just want to say a couple of things about Brad. He mentioned earlier that Daryl Chapman introduced us. And my wife Lisa, hi Lisa, where are you, baby? We lived in same neighborhood we live in now, but it's a different house. And I was out on the porch of that house or balcony, and I was playing some stuff, and Daryl's wife walked up because I was playing some Neil Young, I think. She said, wow, I like Neil Young. That sounds okay. And I went, thanks. So, and then she said, my husband likes to, he's a singer and stuff. And I don't know, a couple days later, Daryl walks over and we play a little bit. And he says, I think I did a Stevie Ray Vaughan song, from what I remember, Brad. God, what's the name? I forget now. But anyway, he says, Life by the Drop, yeah. You would know that song, Matt, and Greg, because it's a blues song, right? So anyway, he said, you've got to meet this Brad Davis. I said, we were new. I hadn't been in town over, I don't know, a couple weeks or something, maybe a month. Anyway, so I meet Brad, but I remember one of the things that Daryl said about you, Brad, and I've learned that it was 100% accurate. He said, you will never, ever meet a guy as nice as Brad Davis. And I will have to say that you have upheld that in all my dealings with you. And you're a great friend. I mean, it's been an honor and a privilege to play on this record. I'm glad I talked you into it. And I hope you guys agree with that. It's just some really strong songs on here. And we often talk about how it's just a big ocean out there. And if you're an artist, you're just, it's very difficult to get recognized, but some of this stuff deserves to be heard by more people than just in this room tonight. And I hope one day that some of this stuff will break through, and who knows, maybe you'll beat out that Marshall Tucker band somewhere, All right, so that kind of concludes, except we do have a special honor now. Brad has agreed to sing the last song that's on the album. I'll let him talk a little bit about it, but Cade and myself and Mike are just going to sit here and listen to what I think is a very good and very unique voice. So we're going to turn it over to you, Brad. Thank you all so much. It means a lot to us. And by the way, let's give it up for Buddy Dukes back here on our sound tonight. Not only did Buddy do sound, but these 3 light trees back here, he didn't have to do that. He didn't have to bring these trees in, but Buddy's a professional. He wanted us to look as good as we could, and I know you didn't have but so much to work with other than Cade, but thank you, Buddy, for doing that. And again, shout out to the Boatyard for allowing us to come in and do this. Thank you so much.
So HC and I had an accord that he would sing these songs on this album. And 3 or 4 days ago, he said, I've got another plan for the last song. And he said, you're going to sing it. And I'm not thrilled about that, but I agreed to it. It'll start off kind of pitchy and then completely deteriorate from there.
All right, well, that's great. That set the bar pretty high.
Yep. Yeah, so this song is Bel Air Springs. It's about 10 years old. And they picked it out of that stack of songs I gave them. And when they came back with the first cuts, and I've never really stepped foot in the studio. I just like to write stuff. And the first couple times I went into the studio with them, it drove me nuts. Both of these guys are professionals and exceptionally, tuned into every detail. And that's not me. It drove me crazy. What do you mean HC's got to sing that line 40 times before you record it? So
I'm sorry, HC.
Yeah, you should be.
So when they came back with the rough cuts on this song, I said, I don't even want this one on the album. It's 10 years old. The only time I ever play it is when I'm in the mountains. That's when I wrote it. That's the only time it means something to me. But they said, too late. We've already put too much into it. So this song is about that place up in the mountains. My nephew here, Michael's been going there since he was born. I've been going there for 60 years. And some of my earliest memories and best memories are up there, are from that place. So I'm gonna sing it.
All right.
Yeah, and like I said, 10 years ago I wrote it, and I really didn't know why I wrote it. But when I play it now when I'm up there, I think of my father. He died about 11 or 12 years ago, and I must have written it with him in mind. Up here, the air is mighty fine. Taste the sweet from her wine. It's as far as you can see. Makes me long for you with me. Sipping water from the springs takes me back to simpler things. Walking around on these dirt roads, sharing each one's heavy loads. Time moves slower here, you know. The wind will die and it will blow. I don't know what it all means, being here in Bel Air Springs. The stars are closer here, it's true. You touch them and they'll touch you. The moon tugs gently on the soul. Angels visit here, I'm told. Time moves slower here, you know. The wind will die and it will blow. I don't know what it all means, being here in Bel Air Springs. We hike out there to the rock. Sunsets there can stop a clock. Shedding cares and living free. makes me long for you with me. Time moves slower here, you know. The wind will die and it will blow. I don't know what it all means. Being here in Belhair Springs. Time moves slower here, you know. The wind will die and it will blow. I don't know what it all means. Being here in Belhair Springs. Woo! Thank you all. Can't thank y'all enough for being out here tonight. It's amazing.
Thank y'all. Now we can have a drink. How
All
about that?
right, everybody get a drink.